Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert on March 26, 2020. Yeah, there's a storm across the valley. Clouds are rolling in. The afternoon is heavy on my shoulders. Hey, that'd be a good line for a song. Hey, anyway, yeah, it's been raining across the valley there all day. Well, most of the day, since I got back from town. I did go into town today, and there were some of you chimed in on this one, see how it's doing around your area. But I went into town to one of the bigger supermarkets, and it was fully stocked. All the shelves were full of everything. I mean, even toilet paper. And they had eggs, and they had milk, and they had butter, and they had meats, and they had plenty of vegetables. For the breads and rolls that they bake inside the store, they had those. You couldn't pick up singles anymore. They had them packaged in a six buns in a package thing, so that people wouldn't be handling them with their hands. Anyway, yeah, no lines, no problem parking. Just in and out in no time at all. Got everything I needed to back up my supplies here. And yeah, I was running a little bit low on Coors Light, so I had to get some. Yeah, that and some other things. Anyway, yeah, the storm across there has been dumping rain since I got back, but none of it got here. As you can see, the skies are blue above me, just like normal. But even out that way, it's raining or snowing on the mountain. It's probably snowing because it's pretty cold out there. I've been hunkered down all day. And the winds are calming down now. They're running 10 to 18, and they were up to 22 a little while ago, so it is calming down. But it's only 51 degrees out there, so it's kind of chilly. All right, so I had a question from one of my subscribers. It's Carrie and Anya from... They have a channel now. They just started. They haven't posted any videos yet, but it's called My Life in the Desert, Creating My Own World. And they had a question because they haven't posted videos because they don't really know how to do that. So I've been helping them out with that information on how to do it from your cell phone using a cell phone camera. And one of the questions they had was, how do I keep the camera and the video from jumping all over the place while I'm walking around? Well, in camera settings, you have to turn your camera on to the camera, and then up in one of the corners you'll find a little thing that looks like a gear. That's where you'll find the tools to adjust your settings. So tap on that, and then look down the line on there for something that says video stabilization, and turn that on. And what that does is it stabilizes your video as you're moving around. So if I shake the camera a little bit like this, I'm shaking the camera up and down about an inch, but everything is kind of like staying stable as I'm doing that. Okay, so I hope that helps you. The other thing they asked about was, how do I keep the wind from drowning me out while I'm walking around out in the wind? Well, I'm not going out there, but I will show you how I did it. And what it is everybody, when they get their cell phones, gets a set of earbuds. Well, this set of earbuds, the left earbud on it went out on it. It doesn't work. But the right side still works. And on the right side, where you see this big ball of foam, there's a microphone under there. So what I did was I got some of this foam rubber. It's just stuff that you make little cushions and pillows and things out of. And I just cut it up and shaped it into a little ball, and it's split down one side so I can put it over the wire. And then I took an old key ring, you see the key ring there, to hold it in place. And it'll slide up and down, so if I don't want it on there, I can slide it down and let the microphone be exposed, or I can slide it up over it. And that's all it takes. It's just like... when news reporters are out there and it's high winds and stuff and they're holding a microphone, they get a little foam ball over the top of the microphone, so it's it stops that wind sound. So I hope that helps you. And I'll be looking forward to seeing some of your videos. You guys have been out there for a while and getting your channel together. That's a good thing, right? All right. So what's next? Oh, the glue traps. Boy, are those things working. I wish I'd have thought of this a long time ago. I got 3 pack rats so far in 2 days. Well, that's what I got outside so far. The ones in the attic I haven't checked yet. It was a heck of a lot quieter last night. I heard one noise for a little while and then it disappeared. And I didn't hear anything the rest of the night. So hopefully that means that he's in the glue trap. So I'm going to give it until Saturday on the weekend, and then I'll climb up there and check those glue traps and see how it goes. And see if there's any more noise tonight or not. Because I've the ones that I'm catching outside is what I think is where their tunnel entrance is that comes in under the garden shed and under the house or under the cabin. And then they're coming up from underneath the bathtub, probably squeezing between the flooring and the drain pipes, things like that, and getting into there and then getting up the inside wall, partition wall of the bathroom, which doesn't have any blockage in it. And that gets them right up into the attic. So that's the area where I'm hearing most of the sound, and they're going in through a little 3/4 inch hole that I made for wiring, and I forgot to fill with foam when I was done doing that before I closed the walls in. That's what happens when you're in a rush to get things done before the weather settles. All right, so we got through that. I want to show you something else that I keep forgetting to show you is something I did in my little pantry area here. Binder clips, a couple of screws in the wall, and I can hang my chips up like that, and other little packages of things that I open that need to be held closed, like beans and things like that. And I just put a couple of screws in there, and I'll probably be putting another one down lower here and have another place to hang stuff there. This one I could probably move over, and I put 2 of them up there and use that for bags of beans and things, keep them up out of the way. So I don't use shelf space that way. Pretty cool, huh? And these bags of coffee actually come with their own little clips on them. So I'll put in some smaller hooks that I can hang those on, like coffee cup hooks or something. And I can hang those and get those out of the way. I can even hang them off of this shelf right here so that they don't, they'll hang in front of the bottles, but I could just move them over when I need to grab a bottle out of there. Pretty cool, huh? All right. So yeah, I've been, every time I go to the store, I pick up a few more canned goods and things like that and stick them in here just in case. But I'm not hoarding. I'm not getting crazy about this thing like some people are. And another tip that I came up with is, a couple of years ago, a friend of mine gave me a whole bunch of commercial-sized coffee filters for those big coffee machines that you find in restaurants and things like that. And I have like about 6 or 7 packs of those things with like 1,000 coffee filters in each one. Well, guess what? If I run out of toilet paper, those things don't fit any of the coffee makers I use. I could use those in an emergency for number 2, because I'm not a female, so I don't use it for number 1. But I'm sure they could be used if necessary, because they're not really that coarse, and they are absorbent. Why not, right? Get use out of them. And they are biodegradable, because I put them in the compost pile and they fall apart in the compost pile. So I wouldn't flush them down the toilet, though. I don't think that would be a good thing. Just same thing with paper towels and things like that. Don't flush those down the toilet. In my lifetime, I have cleaned many a drain that was stopped up from paper towels going down the toilet. So careful about that stuff. All right, everybody? All right. Let's see what's next on my list here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I watched this TV show just the other night, and At first, I didn't know if I was going to like it, but there's like a science and documentary channel on this TV out here. As you know, I'm using my homemade antennas here, and I'm picking up TV on that. Well, everything that was on was reruns, and I've seen it already because we're coming up on the springtime changeover, so pretty soon it'll be all new shows, but everything's reruns right now. And I just wanted to watch something before bed, so I started watching this show, and it was a guy called Michael Tellinger, Tellinger. And the show was called Breakthrough Energy Technology. Well, this guy really grabbed my interest, and it was like a 2-hour long show, and I just couldn't turn away from it. So I looked him up on the internet, and I have a link to the to his show and what he's talking about. And to give you a little hint about what this stuff is about, and this is really interesting, he's talking about South Africa and how South Africa, some of the things that are going on in South Africa or have been going on for thousands and thousands of years, just really make you think about other things in the world. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, so I won't tell you all of it. But there are things down there they call the rings of fire, I think it is, or rings of the sun. And they have these old formations put together with rocks and things like that. Just really interesting. All of the rocks or the stones that they use for the walls of these things are made of some type of material that allows them to ring like a bell, and they're stacked up like a wall. But if you take one of them and you tap it with another stone, it'll ring just like a bell. And that's I've never heard of that. That was kind of crazy. But they're talking about how rich that South Africa was in gold content, how the largest deposits of gold in the world were down there. And they kept it a secret for a long time because of that. And they have these things called sacred stones down there. They look like a stone donut, if you will. It's a round stone with a hole in the center of it. And these things are made out of some kind of special material that have strange properties, magnetic properties or something like that. And this guy took one of those to do one of his shows, and he had it in his luggage, and it set off all kinds of bells and buzzers in the airport. And they had, he was saying that they had armed guards with guns out there and all of that. And he went down and said, "That's my bag." And they made him open it up to pull out what was in there. And as he showed him the stone, saying that it was a African curio, so that he would be able to keep it, one of the guys walking away says, "I've seen those things before." And another guy says, "Yeah, but that thing crashed our whole system. It shut down all the electronics." Can you imagine that? Well, pretty interesting. And you'll see in his show he talks about when you go into these rings of the sun in South Africa, your GPS shuts off. Your GPS on your phone and things like that, it's gone. It's really weird. So I think you might find that interesting. It's about 2 hours long, so I'm going to warn you up ahead. Make sure you have time to watch it so you don't break off in the middle of it. But boy, that thing is really, really interesting. He also talks about experiments in sound levitation, but he doesn't get really into that because that's not what he's talking about. But you can look up or just Google sound levitation and look at all the experiments they've been doing with levitating things and people using sound waves. It's really interesting. It makes you wonder about spacecraft and things that you see in the sky. Well, maybe they're just experiments with somebody levitating an object with sound, right? Hey, could be. So anyway, that's some of the stuff that is in his channel. And I'll put the link to that down in the comment section below this video so you can check it out. I hope you enjoy that and give you something to do. All right, everybody. that's about all I have for today. G-Bear reminding you, give me a thumbs up down there. Please like my videos. And thank you for all the new subscribers. I counted 53 in the last 7 days. 53 new subscribers. That's pretty good. Not bad. It's about 5 a day. And I like that. That's good. Well, actually, it's more like 7 a day. But that's down from the 10 a day I was getting. So let's bring that back up, people. G-Bear signing off.